Now, podcasting around the world, this is Zero Context.
Sweet. Alrighty. This is probably the most professional setup we've got for Zero Context so far. We're in Sydney, and I'm here with AJ and Sam. What are we here for, fellas? We're all wearing. I don't know if you can see, we're all wearing Howlerhead merch.
Yeah.
AJ
just hooked us up.
Yeah.
Mate, we're hitting the UFC. So I suppose today we can sort of enjoy it and have a chat about it all and discuss it. And, excited to see where our seating location is going to be this Sunday.
Because we don't know. We don't know what we're seeing.
But our last one in Perth was...
it's pretty good. I mean, I wasn't there, but from what I saw...
You probably can't beat it, mate, to be honest.
Yeah.
But, so...
But
you need to explain how we got into this situation.
Yeah.
I think that's an epic story.
Yeah. So I suppose going back before the UFC, we started a brand, myself and them, called Clean Sip Australia when we first moved to Byron Bay, and it's just a sustainable drinkware company. Now we sort of started from nothing and just sort of chipping away at online sales, and then I had a bit of time off work, so I started sort of exploring how I could reach out to different people and different companies and brands, etc. So UFC was one that I wanted to go for because obviously I watched it every weekend and I love it. So I managed to weasel my way through a few sort of back ends to get to the main man, Dana White, which was interesting. So
what did you have to do? So like,
don't give away all your secrets, AJ.
Yeah. Don't give it away. But like, what was like some of the things you did to actually like end up in Dana White's?
So I just sort of was checking out what they were doing, sort of what their content, where it was at, what they were up to, what new brands they were starting, and I seen that they started a whiskey company. So I was like, our brand could work with this. You know, we've got sustainable stainless steel, whiskey tumblers. So I'm like, maybe I can brand some Howlerhead whiskey tumblers up and sort of try and push them across the face of the guys at the UFC and their whiskey company and see if it can go somewhere. So I managed to get onto a guy through that. And then he explained to me that they don't do collaborations. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm happy to gift it to you guys. So I'm like, mate, I'll just send it to you as a gift with your brand, your colours, everything. So then I'm like, right, I've got a big box of products together. And I wrote just a letter. I just sort of sat down one day by myself and just explained how I enjoy the UFC and, Dana White's inspiration from where he started to where they are now and when they sold the company. I think it was back in 2015 or 16.
Yeah, also around there, yeah.
And where it's at today. So I sort of explained all of that and showed the guys that I was a fan, obviously. And I sent it over to the guys and they presented it to Dana White. And I was like, wow, this is cool. So the guy that I got onto, he's like, mate, we're presenting it to Dana today. So I'll let you know how it goes. And then later on that day, I think, Dana White followed me on Instagram. And I'm like, fuck.
That would have been exciting. That would have been insane.
Wild.
Yeah, so I was like, mate, this guy's a legend. And then he sent me a voice message. He said, hey, brother, thanks for all the products. They're awesome. Send me your cell number. I've got my man trying to track you down to get your cell so I can give you a call. He got his PA to schedule a phone call with me. And at the time, I'm an electrician, as you know. So I was on the tools and I was like on site.
He's ringing me going, I think Dana's meant to ring me today.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
He's wigging out.
I was waiting by my phone like a little bitch, to be honest. But I was out on site and I'm working, man. I'm trying to concentrate, like do electrical work. And I knew the call was coming up. So I was working with a guy. I said, mate, you're on your own. I'm going into the car. It was like hot. So I put the aircon on. I'm like in the car and then my phone rings and it's like the number's like Las Vegas. And I'm like, yes. I'm like, hello, AJ speaking. He's like, Dana White, brother, how are you? I'm like, mate, what's going on? And just had a chat to him just in general. He just said, thank you. asked a bit about Clean Sip. I explained how he started, what it is, blah, blah, blah. How I seen sort of a gap that we can potentially help out and supply them with some products and stuff like that.
Yep.
And he agreed on that. So he's like, yeah, I'm going to put you in touch with the right guys and we'll do some orders.
Oh, amazing.
So, mate, that's how it all started. And at the end of it, he sort of just mentioned, if you want to come to Vegas anytime, let me know. We'll hook you up with some tickets. Yeah. So me and Em are like, let's go to Vegas. And we were hoping he was there. But unfortunately, the weekend we got there, he flew out somewhere. So we didn't get to catch up with him. But we caught up with his team. We got some good tickets, met a few fighters, met Cody Garbrandt. So sort of
it was a fight night event too. So
it was a fight night.
It was
I was just asked that,
intimate.
It was at the Apex, yeah. So it was pretty
wow.
chill.
Okay.
There was not many people there, to be honest. So it was pretty sort of quiet. But it was hot over there. It was like 42 degrees or something. So we're in the Apex sweltering. But yeah, that's when I met Cody Garbrandt and sort of created a relationship with a couple of guys just sort of in that space.
Yep.
And mate, that's why we're here today, because I sort of reach out to the right people that I've created a relationship with from where it started. It's great that they give back. And like in Perth, for example, I got 6 tickets, man, and they were like the second row from the Octagon.
Yeah.
And we were all like stoked.
In Dana's guest bit.
Yeah, so mate, that in itself was unbelievable. We were all blown away, and I'm like, fuck, man, like these tickets are probably like $7-8 grand each. You can't put a price on it. And then I sort of hit him up. I was meant to go to Fight Week, actually, International Fight Week. We spoke about that, but I had to can it. So I said, can I transfer the 4 tickets from there to the Sydney card?
I think the moral of that story as well is like you added value first. Like you didn't really do it with the intention of, hey, give me free tickets. It's like Dana probably really appreciated the fact that you did what you did for him. Man,
I think, in that product space, as you guys probably know as well, Sammy with Mirror Merch, like you got a lot of people out there gifting and giving free like products and everything away to influencers and trying to get that post to create, sales and income. But I think sort of where I went from that angle a few times, and it worked with sort of, I suppose, like athletes. I've done one with Rob Whittaker as well. I sent him a big gift pack, and I done it exactly the same way as I done with Dana White, and it worked. He put like a post up and said thanks. Yeah. Followed me on Instagram as well. So.
Yeah, so how many photos have you done? Is it just Rob Whittaker you've done? Have you done a few others at all? Or?
Jack Della, sent him some stuff. He was good. Cody Garbrandt, he's good. He's done a few little stories and stuff, and just
a few boxes now.
Yeah, a few boxes. I got young King Callum Walsh, which
I was just about to ask that. Yeah.
Yeah, which Howlhead's a major sponsor actually, and Dana White's sort of getting behind him, which is cool. So. Yeah, it's sort of grown. Just sort of, I've been working in that space just myself in my own time. I just sort of see what's going on in that space and sort of.
And you're down to earth as well. Like I think, we speak about this a few times. Like the high corporates that they'd be dealing with all the time, and then you get AJ speaking exactly the way he is today with them. It's just a bit more familiar.
I think it's just real. It's being real, right?
Exactly.
Like I think the gift and just like even the letter takes 10 minutes, right? To sit down, and I don't write it on a computer and then print it out and put it in a box. I hand write it.
Yeah. That's what I did for you when you, the thing I sent you, I was like, I got to send him something as like a thank you. And I was like, just wrote it down. I was like,
so that was the exact same. Yeah. And, you appreciate that because you get your gift and then you get your letter, and that's, that's inspiration and motivation as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sort of, it's good. That's where it all started, to be honest.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was just going to ask, so what's the story with One Day? What's One Day?
Yeah, so when we went to the first UFC, we done a bit of footage and stuff with our iPhones and sort of created a bit of hype around videos and stuff. And it's good just to have the community of people that we've sort of connected with.
Yep.
And Clean Sip is a brand, and it's our business, and it's great, and it's products, but I just wanted to do something a bit more with a bit of a team as well. So I'm sort of not one out. I've got a few guys to sort of get around, and we can all chip in and play our role. So instead of doing a podcast, I know, we're doing a podcast right now, which is great, but I didn't want to be another guy starting another podcast right from scratch. So I'm like, I want to do one day with these high profile athletes. And I think the core of having these connections with the UFC would be a fucking great start, right?
Yeah.
So that's when we connected.
Yeah. You know what? So I'll tell you the
Yeah.
story. So actually, no, that leads into something else.
Yeah,
So
run us through it.
well, okay. Well, let's go back to Perth. So
Yep.
you knew the fight was coming up. You guys were heading over there. You found out Logan and JJ were going to be at the fight.
Yeah.
What was the decision behind you deciding to gift them UFC and Prime branded bottles? That's insane. And hand delivered them as well.
Yeah.
I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, we didn't know that they were going to be sitting in front of us first. Like, we went the day before to try and, because they were doing a meet and greet at the front, and we just didn't even get close to them.
Yeah.
And then we're
Or
like,
nowhere.
you were just like wing it for the next
Felt like
day.
little bitches, like we're like.
But
yeah, felt a bit weird, but so, mate, again, I was just sussing out what the UFC were up to, and I seen Prime come in, and I seen Logan was sort of hanging out with Dana, and you got to try and stay ahead of the game.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, they've just done a deal. They've bought out a Prime drink bottle that had UFC, Prime upside vertical and UFC across the top. I was like, well, fuck. I'll do a couple of those and I'll make them look fucking cool. And if they're there, I'll give them to them. And if they're not, well, I've got them anyway. So it doesn't matter. So, yeah, we went to that day. What was that? Was that the press conference?
Yeah,
Or
but we didn't go in.
Yeah.
All the weigh-ins or something, but they had like a car out the front carrying
Yeah,
on.
that's like a
doing
massive
shoeys and
truck
that.
or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
then, like fast forward to the next day, and we were just in, and like they had name tags of like everyone that was sitting in our area. Yeah. And we got there early because we were watching the prelims and stuff. And we leant over, and I said to AJ, like, mate, have a look who's sitting in front of us. And it's Logan Paul, KSI, and his crew. And I was just like, it can't be any better. Like, it's meant to be. Like, his good energy, his vibe, and like AJ just kind of manifested it in a sense, really.
Yeah.
Like, we could have been put anywhere.
That's right. Yeah. We just sort of, I don't know, just read the play.
So what was going through your head when you saw their names there?
Well, I think I walked in and I was like, fuck, look, my name's on all these seats. I'm like, fuck, how good's this? Row 2, thanks for coming. I'm like, fucking, we're weapons, we're killing it. But I think then Sammy's like, looked over, he's like, get fucked. And it said like Logan Paul. And the funny thing is, his seat is number 7. And my lucky number, or my number, is 7. My birth date is the 7th. And today is September 7th.
Oh, shit.
Let's go.
I just realized that actually.
So there you go.
Right.
So when I was saying that, I'm like, fuck, this is unbelievable. But then they had security and stuff with them. Remember the security team? And we were sort of sitting on the end of, the chairs. There was sort of space at the end of our sort of aisle. And their security guards were just sort of standing not far away from us.
Yeah, right.
And
You'd lean forward and they'd come forward thinking you were going to them.
yeah, a couple of guys, like well-known Aussie guys, sort of went up to them and the security were like, fuck, get out of here.
Plus, they didn't even get the chance to say.
Oh, they sort of went up.
Yeah.
This rugby player, I think, I didn't even know who he was, but he went around. He's like, hey, bro. And the security guy was like, fuck off, mate.
Oh, okay.
And Logan was just like, I'm like, ooh, fuck. So,
Nina was there too.
yeah.
I don't know if we want to talk about it. we might leave that after this one.
So I sussed that out. Remember I went up to the security guard?
Yeah.
I'm
See,
like, mate,
again, that's nice.
I'm like, I've got to talk to this guy.
Yeah.
Because if this guy sees me, like, giving him something, he'll be like, fuck.
Did you show him the bottles? Or?
I went over to him and I said, look, man, are you the security guard for these guys? He's like, yeah, I am. What do you want? Like, it was brutal. And I'm like, look, long story short, we do a bit of work with the UFC. I've got some gifts, their drink bottles branded up with their new brand Prime and UFC. Can I gift them to them? And he looks over and he goes, see that dickhead over there annoying him right now? I'm like, yeah. He's like, don't fucking do that. He goes, do it at the right time, not a stupid time when there's a fight on. So
Yeah.
I literally waited the whole fucking day. And the Volk and Makachev fight just finished. And there was sort of a bit of time. Yeah. They went back to their corner and there was a bit of time in between and everyone was fucking out of their seats. And I'm like, boys. And that's when you see in the video, I tapped them on the shoulder and they loved it. But, so, No intentions, just I thought it could be a potential, could be an opportunity. Maybe something might come of it. Nothing has, but there's a connection there. You know, KSI was nice enough to tag me on Instagram and follow me and send a photo, so that was cool.
It was on their private jet.
Had the pizza
after the fight.
the bottle,
yeah. That was That's how that all come about.
Yeah, and then
fast forward to you.
And then because I followed JJ, and then I saw he reposted that photo of you. I think he just held the bottle up and you were in the background doing one of these, smiling.
Like a little fella.
And I saw it and I'm like, wait, what the fuck is this? And then I realized that you gifted him, and then I followed you. Because I saw you down at Byron. I was like, oh, okay, he does like a water bottle company. He's down at Byron. Okay, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
And then I think he reshared it a couple of days later. And I think all I said was mad. I was like, oh, mad. And then you saw I had content creator in my bio or something. And then you're like, yeah, let's jump on a call. Could you edit some footage for us? And then
that's it.
6 months later.
Mate, literally, I think I was... I reached out to another guy, but he never got back to me. And then I think the timing was you sent me a message. I was like, fuck, let's go.
Yeah, no, that was cool.
That was cool, man. So thanks for that. And that's another reason why you're here today, I suppose. We're doing this together and
absolutely.
The future.
But isn't it crazy? Like you just sent that message?
I'll tell you something that's crazy. Just come back to what you said before about manifestation. I think, so I watch UFC with a mate of mine called Gilly. And for some reason, like it was the last fight last year, and we're at the pub watching UFC, yada yada. And for some random reason, I just said to him, I'm like, with the way things are going, I would not be surprised if we end up in the same room as Dana White in the next year. That's a fucking random thing to say. Like you don't say that.
Yeah.
And then, obviously, you know, we haven't sat with Dana White just yet, but like the fact that like got in contact with you. USC's on Sunday. And I've ended up in so many rooms just because like I've seen people online and like I've thought about different situations and stuff, and I've ended up in those situations because of just thinking about it. And yeah, dude, like this is just another prime example of that. Seriously.
That's it. Yeah. Well, man, he's that's why I think there's an opportunity there, and I really wanted to kick one day off with him.
Yeah.
To start it all up, which would be great hype to get him on board, but I think we just got to go through the right channels and present it to him the right way. And that's going to take time, but that's cool. We can do a few prior.
Yeah,
a few little test runs.
We did like, cause we're doing some branding stuff the other day, and I put up like 1 day, and then I did 1 week, like 1 day with, 1 week with, and it just flows. Like it just looks really nice.
Yeah.
So, and I think it's kind of ironic. The series is called 1 day. But it's like we're starting off with 1 week
that's right
in Sydney.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of funny. Though.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So what's the relationship like with Cody Garbrandt? So you guys chat a fair bit, or?
So I met him at the Apex when we went to Vegas.
Yep.
And man, I used to watch him like when he was like world champion. I'm like, fuck, I love this guy, and he was just a little weapon. And whenever he used to fight, I used to put it on at home back in Ballarat, and I used to show Dad, and my old man like got around him as well. He's like, this guy's a fucking beast. And I seen him at the Apex, and he was just with his son. And I just walked up the stairs. I said to him, give me 5. I'm going to see this guy. And I just went up. I said, Cody, how are you, man? I'm AJ. I'm from Australia, and I'm a big fan of yours, mate. And it's nice to meet you. And he goes, bro, you're from Australia? What are you doing here? And I'm like, oh, mate, it's a long story. But yeah, we come over and done a bit of work with these guys and just wanted to come and check it out. And I said, mate, if you ever want to come to Australia, let me know and we'll show you around. And I think
again,
after
you're adding value.
Yeah, that's it. So his last fight, he got it done. He got the win.
Yep.
He's had a few issues with like his neck and his back, and he sort of he got through that fight. You know, he had a good couple of rounds, but the last round he couldn't. I don't think he could throw his right hand because his neck froze up.
Oh, true. Okay.
So he had to like coast through that last round to get the win. And he's just a good guy, man. Like I respond to him on Instagram, and then I said, hey man, what's your WhatsApp? I've just got to put it down on the tracking for Ozpost. And he gave it to me. He's like, man, give us a message or a call anytime. Thanks for sending the stuff out. I said, oh, do you want to get on a call? after your fight? He goes, yeah, for sure. And I just texted him one day. I said, hey, mate, how you feeling after the fight? You done well? I heard the presser, how's the body? And he goes, yeah, man, I'm just chilling. Give us a buzz. So I just called him.
You're right.
Yeah. And I just said, how are you, bro? What's going on? He goes, oh, man, I got the win. I'm happy. I just said, what's next? How's the neck? Where are you going to go from here? I watched a interview last night with Michael Bisping and Cody Garbrandt. And Bisping was putting some sort of hard questions on him, you're 32. You've had a couple of losses, and where are you going from here? But he's good, man. He's like, I'm going to get my body right. I'm going to get my mind right. He's got a young son, so he's spending a heap of time with him. He's moved camps to Vegas, so he's been through a bit. But that's one thing I really did want to do was, I sort of mentioned it to him on that phone call, is I want to go over and do one day with Cody Garbrandt. So that's going to be done in Vegas, and that's going to be done very soon.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
So that's the sort of relationship we've got, and he's a great guy.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Talk to me about Mirror Merch.
Yeah, Mirror Merch. So it's coming up nearly 3 years. So back in November 2020, I launched it. Mirror Merch is an affirmation business. So at the moment we sell stickers like, I trust the universe, I'm abundant, I'm worthy of good things, all that type of stuff.
I'm a weapon.
Is that actually one of them?
Well, we've got create your own, so you can do whatever you want.
That's right.
But yeah, so that's it really. Yeah, it's just been pumping.
Okay. And how did you get into that? How did that idea come into your head?
Yeah, so I left school when I was 15 and went into my father's business as a sign writer. So that's where I started to learn to make stickers.
Yep.
I left there about 10 years later. So I got my long service and then I went into real estate. Was a real estate agent for like 3 or 4 years.
Oh, really? Wow, okay.
Yeah. Classic salesman. Sold this boy's house.
Yeah.
And then, a memory actually come up on my phone the other day. The photo.
Should have kept it, huh?
And then, heaps has gone down. So I've got to a stage in my life where I just felt like I just wanted to just escape everything, or not escape everything, but just I wanted to restart. I felt like I was just rushing my life so much. I quit my job as a real estate agent. I sold my house, sold everything that I owned, and then put my life in a bag and went to South America.
Wow.
Yeah, so just went there. Wanted to go somewhere where my money would last for a year or so. And then, it was around there. And then the virus hit. So I had to fly home back to Australia. And then I got a camper van and then drove up the East Coast. And then I was nearly in Byron because I was coming to see these guys. And that's when I started business just come back to me naturally. And then I was trying to think of something that I could do that was easy to travel with, like small to operate, and then something that was going to help people. So personally, I've used affirmations a lot to get through my mental health stuff. And then because I knew how to make stickers, it kind of come back as one.
Yeah. So
and then I started doing the website on the road in my van. And then everything just kind of come together. And then November the 11th, 2020, I launched it on the Gold Coast. And the rest is kind of history. So it's just been chipping away ever since. So my dream was to just be able to work on a laptop and be able to move around Earth freely. And for the past 2.5 years, I've been doing that.
That's sick. So did you live? You lived? Did you live at the Gold Coast for a bit?
So funny little story was. Again, I booked an Airbnb in this hotel for 2 weeks and I didn't know where I was going after that. So anyway, I was walking past reception heaps and a chick from reception was like, "Wait, what are you doing?" I'm like, I'm here for another week. I don't know what I'm doing after it. And she's like, "Oh, there's a guy here looking for a roommate." I was like, "Oh, okay." So anyway, met him, went up to the room. I was like, it's not too bad. And then talking about lucky numbers, it was on level 11 and 11's my lucky number.
Yeah.
So I was like, fuck it. So I said yes, moved out of my Airbnb up into the room and then I stayed there for a year. And then, ended up meeting the chef at where I was getting coffee every morning. He's like, do you want to move in with me? And I was like, yeah. So I moved across the road into another hotel, a nicer one, and then in Broadbeach. And then my sister rang me and she was like, oh, do you want to go to America?
Wow.
So we had to get a lawyer to get us out of the country because it was during COVID. So we had to prove that we had business in America. So with Mirror Merch, a few mates helped me out. And then, we left America. I left for America. I was in America for about 3 months and then went down to Mexico, went down to Guatemala, and then I went to...
Christ, dude. You've been all over.
Then I went to Colombia for about a month and a half, and then I come back to Australia, and then I went back to Europe for a bit, and then come back, and then now I'm here.
God.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's back.
So, yeah. And then...
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. So then, life's just been happening, really.
God. And so where are you wanting to take the car? Are you happy with how the company's progressing? Do you want to grow it into different areas? Or?
Yeah, like, I know, like anything, it's hard. Like you especially with social media and stuff, you're obviously always comparing yourself. So looking at other brands and stuff, you're always thinking to yourself, am I doing enough? Mm-hmm. Should I be doing more? But what I've realized is like, you don't really know what's going on. Like things like Instagram can be fake sometimes. So what you see a business is doing sometimes isn't like what it's actually doing.
Yeah,
so
that's exactly right.
I tried to bring my focus back to the brand itself, and Mirror Merch is kind of its own little entity at the moment. And like a relationship, I'm just trying to give it love when it needs, give it a breather when it needs, and just I don't want it to be forced.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
And being authentic as well.
Yeah. So it's kind of building. It's funny because like when all the girls message the Instagram, they're like, "Hey babe," like they think I'm a girl. They don't know that the owner is a dude.
You hit it back.
Nah.
Say, hey babe.
Nah. I'm not crossing the line there yet.
God,
but yeah, so yeah, same with this, and like even with the one day kind of stuff, it's like you can have, and what I've learned with life at the moment is like you can have goals and stuff, but if you're a good human and you're doing good stuff every day, it blows it out of the park. Like I bet you in 5 years' time when we're talking about this, like we'll think about this conversation like we had no idea what was going to happen. And I think that's like with your videographer, like being a videographer, you don't know what you're going to be filming soon.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
And same with Mirror Merch, yeah. So I just want affirmation stickers on every mirror in the world.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
So
Getting close.
Yeah,
There's a fair few getting around.
Fair few getting around there.
It's interesting you say that because I was thinking, I don't know why I've been thinking about it a lot lately, but like, you know how like you said, like everyone wants to have like a purpose and stuff like that, and it's like, how do I say this? I don't know because I film a lot of real estate and a lot of properties and stuff like that, and it's like, how good is that actually doing to the world? That's actually something that I've been thinking about. It's like, is this actually adding? Like, is this good for in general?
Yeah,
and it's And I've been thinking about like maybe doing some other projects and stuff like that, and you know, even not even charging for things and just going and doing things just because it's like the right thing to do and stuff like that. And that's just something.
Do you like movies and stuff, like storytelling and movies and stuff like that?
Yeah. So I studied for 2 years in Brisbane it's an institute called SAE.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I got my my film degree.
Sick.
And I haven't used it since.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd love to direct movies.
Because that's what I think, like, especially with like, film and stuff, you can create this beautiful, like, tell a story. Yeah. And it's art, really. Like, movies are art at the end of the day. Yeah. So, like, the real estate stuff pays for the bills, doesn't it, at the moment? And and it's still good. You're still presenting someone's home that they've lived in. Yeah. You know? It's something that's but I understand what you're saying for sure. Yeah. Because how old are you, Sammy? We've only just met today, PS. So
like we've spoken over socials, but like we've only met like an hour ago.
Boys.
No, I'm 26 in December.
Yeah,
so
we're old.
You're like 30...
32, mate.
33.
Oh, okay. So I'm a little bit younger than you guys.
Yeah.
How'd you guys meet?
Mate, we actually went to kinder together.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Right.
And then we went to different primary schools, and then we reunited back at year 7 at high school.
Yeah.
And then
I was actually, sorry to cut you off, I was actually reading my year 7 report the other day, and AJ's mentioned in it. It's like, so we did like we did home ecs, or was computer studies or something, and it was like you, me, and Ashley. Remember Ashley? Girl?
Yeah.
We did a little project together, and it was funny just to see.
Yeah.
Back in the
That's
day.
hilarious.
Mate, interesting. But we went to high school together.
Yep.
And then Sammy was like the earliest to leave to go work with Big Robbie Young, his old man, doing signwriting. And then we sort of broke away for a bit. Sammy was doing his thing, I was doing my thing. I went and got an apprenticeship as well as an electrician. Moved to Melbourne. And then we sort of reconnected, I suppose, like when my house was
probably
getting around, which was
maybe
6
Yeah.
years ago again
Yep.
now. So yeah, mate, we had a bit of time away, and then we just sort of done our own thing, and we just sort of come back together, and it's great. Yeah, we've been hanging out a bit when we can.
28 plus years of friendship.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's sick.
So and we're also starting our online brands at the same time too with Clean
Yeah.
Sip.
I was just about to say that. How funny is it that you guys both have online
Yeah,
businesses?
you helped
as
me a
well?
lot with Shopify and
We were bouncing like because I had a shoulder operation, and I was fucking in Byron, and I couldn't do anything because obviously I'm an electrician by trade, and I was like, fuck, what am I going to do? So that's how that all come about. And me and Sammy were just sort of every couple of days like, hey, fuck, how you going with your Shopify? You building this? How do you do this? How do you do that? And that was cool. We were sort of bouncing ideas off each other.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
most of our phone calls are always business related or like, we've got so many
That's good,
brands.
though.
We've
You
got so
need-
many businesses that we're going to do over the years, no doubt.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just, mate, it's just that shift, isn't it? Like
Yeah.
as you grow older, people do say, like, the old generation say, mate, you'll understand when you get older, but I think that is true.
Definitely.
As you grow older, you focus on different things instead of going out on a Friday, Saturday, Sunday night and waking up Monday and you're absolutely fucked for the whole week. So
Yeah.
that's what I used to do in my early 20s, but now it's totally different. So
I do value the phone calls we have though. Like even if it's just like to check up and see how we're doing and
Yeah.
stuff like that. No, I really do appreciate it. It's good.
mate, likewise. Yeah. It's always good. And, if we've got something to do, something to talk about and something inspiring and motivating and which is this.
Yeah.
And which is this right here now. It is exciting. And the potential is there for all of us.
Yeah.
So,
Definitely.
So what camera are you running this weekend?
One of those.
Yeah.
For starters.
What is that?
Yeah.
For
So
the people
that's
that
an
can't see?
A7 III for people wondering.
so we're going to run that.
Oh well, that's like a hybrid, so it's really good at photo and video.
Yeah.
But I got a Sony A7S III, that's more primarily video. So we'll be jumping between the two. So
So we're going to film. Yeah. Should say
I haven't
that.
filmed anything, mind you. I've been like running around doing
No,
shit.
that's
I haven't actually
That's all
like
right.
gotten the camera out to film yet.
So Sammy, do you want to explain what we're actually doing this weekend?
Yeah. Okay. So
So, Sammy's sent through a schedule, very professional, and we appreciate it so
Like it.
much because at least like we're not waking up on a Saturday morning grabbing coffee and they're like, oh shit,
we
missed
missed
something.
this, yeah.
So solid.
yeah. Well, truthfully, like looking at it now, we actually Friday and Saturday we're like in the morning we're Gucci. But like today we're gonna be probably heading back to the hotel. We're gonna chill.
Yeah.
And then we got the press conference tonight,
Yep.
which is gonna be fucking sick. Friday's pretty good, and then we got the weigh-ins tomorrow night. Might go and see Alexander Volkanovski. We don't know if we're going to see that. Saturday, it's like the official launch party for the UFC.
Yep.
Then we're going out for dinner again for that. Then Sunday's UFC, and then we got
That's
the
it,
UFC after party.
Yeah.
So we're going to film. We're going to film all this as a little start, I suppose we could say.
Yeah.
For one day. So
Yeah.
like one day with the UFC.
Yeah.
Or one day at the UFC. So
Yeah, like that.
we're going to get some footage and put it out there and sort of just as a bit of a trial run, I suppose.
Because it is, and that's like, most UFC events. Like I was thinking, they're like carnies. They go around the world putting on these.
They literally, that's exactly what they are.
They put on these major events, but there's, as you said, like there's so much you can do. So like, I heard someone on the flight today. Their tickets were $1,000 each. Their whole weekend's cost them $5,000. But when you look at the value of what they're getting, so you get the free event tonight, which is cool.
Sure.
The free event, like for the weigh-ins, so you're getting like. And then plus the day, like how the day's like 6 hours, like the main card's 6 hours. So then you're getting like yeah, like a UFC event is incredible, really.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're paying a little bit for your ticket, but you do get 4 days of so much stuff.
Full hype.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't realize, because I knew they did things throughout the week, but when like the UFC put out that whole schedule for it, I'm like, oh, okay, like it's actually a heap of shit you can do.
100%. Yeah.
Which is cool, because it's like, obviously the people who can't make it to the event, they can do the other things as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's going to be a good week. I was because I was trying to think about how we want it shot, and like, because I like the Nelk Boys format and of how they do their certain things, obviously without the pranks. But like,
do pranks if you want.
if you want,
No.
But we just dialing it in. It's like, what is it like to go to the UFC?
Yeah.
Like to actually experience a week at the UFC,
Yeah.
or one
That's
day
right.
at the UFC.
Have you been to a live event yet?
Like a live UFC?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So
So
like,
I'm keen.
so last, like, it is honestly like, even if you don't like the sport, I think it's one of the best live events you'll ever see. Like,
Yeah.
to me, UFC is like, it's more than them just bashing each other. They're in the ring. They've trained every day for like 6 months, and it's just such a pure thing. And like the sound when Volk was like walking out, when
The
Volk,
Australian, it wasn't Australian anthem. What was it? It was
Land Down Under.
yeah.
Insane. And we, like, there was all these parties and after parties that we could have gone to. We didn't drink that day. Went back to the hotel and we were like zapped. Like the energy,
Yeah.
it was insane.
It was crazy.
So
It's,
yeah, hopefully through these videos that we'll be able to show that.
I feel like
showcase that,
I
yeah.
feel like I'm going to leave with a better appreciation for the fighters, and I don't know why, but just like probably seeing them in person, and
Oh man, it's their everyday job. really,
Yeah.
At the end of the day, isn't it?
Yeah.
And that's one thing that I've heard Big Dana say on some podcasts as well. He goes, you know, I get that many people coming to me saying UFC live event is the best fucking live event
Yeah.
I've ever been to. And
Sick. It really is.
yeah, you hear that and you're like, obviously when we went to Perth, I'm like, fuck, this guy's right. This is unbelievable.
yeah,
And like we went back to the hotel. I think I was planning on drinking that day, and I'm like, I'll have a couple. You know, went to the fridge once, sculled a water, grabbed a Gatorade, and then we went back to the hotel when it was finished, and we sat down and drank tea and had some biscuits.
We were like grandpas.
oh,
sitting
yeah,
there-
because you said you were exhausted by the end of the
We
day.
were just sipping tea. Yeah.
Yeah, just discussing how good it was.
Yeah.
And that's why, obviously, this is all a part of that as well. That's why we want to, you know, I'm so excited to do this
Yeah.
and to move ahead with it and to trial it this weekend and to showcase that experience and get the feelers out to
Yeah.
this sort of network that we've created from the
And the
start.
UFC's like obviously going to be coming to Australia a lot more.
Yeah,
That's
They
right.
got like a 4-year deal, or they're going to be coming over a certain amount of times over the next 4
So,
years.
yeah.
I'm hoping they at least come once a year. That'd be nice.
So, yeah, man. So that's what it's all about.
Yeah, but thank you, obviously.
Yeah,
like
no, seriously.
I say this to you all the time, but I genuinely appreciate it so much. Like,
That's good.
Yeah.
It's cool, mate. It's good to have you guys around. Obviously, you know, like myself and Em started Clean Sip, but I've been working on this for, you know, probably two and a half years now, and just keeping that relationship just ticking over, and
Yeah.
it's value because I've spent a lot of time and money on it. But you know, like my electrical business, I don't want to celebrate it just all by myself. It's good to take mates along, and you know, it's an opportunity as well, which is another thing that comes back to one.
Yeah.
just you didn't mention it before, but just that special order that you did for Dana White with the exclusive.
Yeah, signature range.
Yeah, signature range.
Yeah,
I
we
think
done
that's super cool.
What was that again?
we done a signature range for Dana White, so UFC branded can coolers, you know, whiskey tumblers, drink bottles with the UFC logo and Dana White signature.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's got a big, I think he's got a big merch sort of cupboard in his office. They mentioned to me, and
Okay.
some of our products sit
cool.
in one of those shelves.
Yeah.
And he told me that he dishes them out to his mates or whatever, and
cool.
when he gives them out Howlhead bottles or whatever he
Yeah.
does, I don't know, but it's great. So
You
Yeah,
did
that was cool.
Power Slap as well. Did you?
Power Slap,
Yeah.
yeah. So I sent him out some bottles for that, just sort of off my own bat. So I just made them and sent 2 boxes. I think there was 100,
So good.
and I hadn't seen him and I hadn't heard from him for a while. And then when Power Slap was on a while ago, all these sort of big names from the US were at Power Slap, and they were dishing them out to those guys. And I seen them in a few videos on Power Slap, and I was like, fuck, how cool is that?
That's sick.
Yeah, so that was a good one. But hopefully many more, and hopefully we'll just keep that ball rolling, and get over there and show face and
absolutely
create more relationships.
Yeah. All right. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
Thank you everyone for watching. This has been great. We're
Thanks,
gonna
brother.
have a pretty good weekend ahead.
We've
It's gonna be
wrapped it
sick.
Good work.
Thanks,
Yeah.
bro.
Shout out.
Shout out to the Media Joint and Katie for organizing this and helping us set this up. Had to move a couple things around.
Yeah, incredible setup.
Unbelievable.
Yes.
Thanks, guys.
She said we're one of the first people to use this space, and it's fucking
Unbelievable.
awesome. Yeah.
We'll put the link in the description.
Yep.
But yeah, if you're in Sydney, definitely hit them up.
Yeah, seriously. They got a few studios here. They got a great thing going on here. So
And,
check them out.
Thanks to the UFC too for a big
Yes.
weekend.
Yes, thank
And
you
Howl
again
Ahead.
to Howl Ahead, Dana White, USC, everyone involved.
Let's go.
It's gonna be a good weekend. Thank you again for watching, guys. We'll see you on the next one.
Cheers.
Peace.